Hart is here most of the week and as engaged as any executive. I wonder where he learned that engaged executive business with the shower in the office. I wonder where he could have seen that. Somewhere, I don't know, on the Paramount lot, maybe? Perhaps. During a staff meeting, he shows a seemingly encyclopedic knowledge of all the writers and directors who are up for consideration on various projects. If a project has a script, he's read it. Has he? As the conversation jumps from one project and topic to the other, he points out details great and small. His assistant discreetly, was it that assistant? His assistant discreetly passes him messages on post-it notes during the meeting on which he quickly jots an answer and hands them back. At one point, John Chang, Heartbeat's new president of film, explains that a script writer Hart likes for a project isn't available. His agent won't bring him the project unless it's offered exclusively. Hart, as a writer, bristles at this. He doesn't like the idea that someone else is making decisions for the script writer without his knowledge. Quote, he should at least have the option to decide, says Hart. He then crafts a sort of brilliant plan, which was off the record, to keep both the writer and the agent in the loop without making anyone feel slighted, disrespected, or stepped on. Except maybe that assistant. If it was that assistant, because that girl, wow. I think one of the most heartbreaking things that no pun intended, heartbreaking things that assistant said, I think she's a single mom, was that Hart promised to help her, right? Gave her a job, but, wanted her available, as a lot of people in this world do. They want you available 24 hours. They're never going to pay you for all the hours that you're on the clock and available. And you're never going to be able to afford to leave that job. And until, you reach your breaking point, either morally or spiritually, or, maybe you got played with as a grown woman one too many times. Maybe you saw too much. Maybe it was just too much, but something got that girl to the breaking point. And she'd been talking, and now they suing, and it may not have been her. Assistants assist for what? 1, 2, 3 years? But what's surprising for most executives, and also, frankly, for the industry he's in, is Hart's awareness of the impact his decisions will have on people. He discusses and analyzes with his team how the company will approach various conversations, some difficult and some mundane, to ensure they are respectful to all involved. Oh, really? Oh. He has a keen sense of what the reactions will likely be and how to mitigate them. Oh, baby. The amount of mess that we have been seeing and hearing about on this platform and others suggest otherwise. If everyone felt respected and everyone was well taken care of, I think that would have prevented a lot of mess, right? Let's not even give any credence to the idea that some of these extortion plots and all of that were created to cover up other business, right? Create all this drama as a cover story for what may have happened. These suggestions have been made, but it's hard to believe that, if respect was the name of the game, then I don't think people would get paid flat fees for hours and hours of work. And I've talked to people who work over there, as associate producers and different things. And then you see different positions advertised to work on podcasts where it's like, oh, produce a podcast for $500. You know you're going to have to spend all week booking guests, doing the record, cleaning up the audio, sweetening, da 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 da. $500 is not a full week's salary. It's not the kind of work that you can do part-time after your regular job. But, you know, the seducing people with, oh, well, but then you'll have this company on your resume. And I'm talking about years ago. People were warning me, like, yeah, it's not, they're going to want to bring you on to do the work, but not pay you for the scope of the work. And I don't doubt that there are people who work there that make six figures. But, you know, like many businesses, it's not a model that's built to respect everyone. Maybe the other writers, maybe the other performers, but if that were the case, and, you know, if there weren't people in their, I don't know, the circle of Hollywood or Vegas or on the pole, or, you know, wanting to social climb, or, you know, get with or get a baby by, or get, you know, get their foot in the door. And, you know, there's always a little hint of exploitation, right? He discusses and analyzes with his team how the company will approach various conversations, some difficult, some mundane, to ensure they are respectful to all involved. He has a keen sense of what the reactions will likely be and how to mitigate them. Staying humble and grounded, that's something I tried to lead by example with. He explains after the meeting. The way Hart sees it, he's in the relationships business, and every decision either harms or strengthens a relationship, whether it's with an up-and-coming comedian or John Feldheimer, the CEO of Lionsgate and his partner in LOL Network. Even things that I can't make work out, I try to make people understand why. You're always going to get a real vetted out answer. And the reason is because if I ever need those relationships again, they're always going to be intact. I don't want to ever ish on anybody at any level, ever, because I know what it felt like to be ished on at a certain point in my career. Oh, did you? Do you? Really? That was especially true in September 2017 when Hart had one of his toughest professional moments. He'd received an alleged extortion threat related to a tape that purports to show him engaged in sexual activity with another woman while his wife, Eniko Parrish, was pregnant with their first child. Rather than pay blackmail, he owned up he owned up publicly to what he calls, quote, his dumbest moment, unquote. It was splashed all over the gossip and mainstream media, and it couldn't have come at a worse time, smack in the middle of Me Too outrage, the press tour for Jumanji, and filming of Night School. It could have been a PR disaster for both the film and his fledgling company, but it wasn't. A lot of people don't understand why you have to really, really, really manage these relationships, says Hart. If you got people doing the work for you, there's no real connection to you. There's only a connection to the name and to the success that goes with the name. So if anything happens to the name, people go, oh, we got to go and get away because the name is tarnished. But when you have a real relationship, people know who you are. They know your heart. Do they? Did Tori Hart know your heart? How about Eniko? How about them other people that the assistant is saying have your children? What's up? Fascinating. Rather than severing ties, Hart says that a couple of executives from Universal came by the night school shoot to see how he was holding up. It meant a lot, Hart says. It wasn't a throw him under the bus or leave him alone situation. It was a check on you and see how you're doing. And that's something that's vacant from the entertainment business. Well, I mean, maybe at your level, they consider you a worthy investment, and the project an investment, and the whole business underwriting an investment. But I think under a certain level, there is forget him, alleged extortioner. Oh,